All right. Good morning, community members. Papa Jah here, founder and executive director of the African Leadership Group. It's truly an honor to be here with you this morning. And I have a VIP guest with me today that I'll be bringing on. But he's somebody that is familiar with this process. He used to be on the other side of the camera, but now he's in front of the camera because of his expertise. You know, as you've been following us this week, we've been talking a lot about the upcoming election, but most importantly, we've been talking about it from our community perspective. So we have had community members that we invited to talk about everything that was on the ballot. And today, and as all of us been watching and seeing the election, we just wanted to kind of give you some update, some of the perspective that we see from our community, but also just engage into the dialogue and kind of give you a sense about next step, what should we do, what should we look out for. But before I go any further, I would like also to thank, a guest that's helping Keto Radio that's been here in the house supporting, and hopefully one of these days also you will get to see him in front of the camera. But it's truly a pleasure to have somebody from the Ethiopian community and that have expertise in video shooting, reporting, broadcasting, here to support us. So we really want to thank him for the help. So I want to turn it over to our guest we have, somebody that's familiar to the organization, Amadou Dieng, that you know him. And it's very interesting to have the young generation perspective to what's happening. But before I go any further, could you please introduce yourself and say hello to our followers that following us on Facebook and social media as well?
Thank you, Papa, for the invitation. Hello, everyone. My name is Amadou. I've been here with African Leadership Group for about a year now. I've had the privilege to work as a media strategist, and I've mostly been, but today I've had the honor of up front. So let's see how this.
That's great. Thank you. So now, before I even share my perspective, I want to hear from Amadou. You get a chance to follow the election. What has been your reaction as the result was coming in? And until now, we don't have a winner. But what has been your reaction following and watching the result coming?
I have to admit, I was not surprised very much because although if you just look at the national polls, you'll see that there was a big lead, but I was more concentrated into state because we had the experience of, so that had to rely much going to what they call state, the state where even if somebody wins. So if you look at it, even though on the national level you have people that had one of the candidates for point, you really go down to state, coming down all the way to 6, 4. So that tells you that there's always that the last state. And there's something that was called the blue mirrors or the red mirrors because of the mail ballot fact coming in. Some states cannot count those elections. Some can count them before the day of. So like Ohio, because they count them before the day of election. Early in the evening, we saw that it was going blue, but as the day in coming, we saw Trump came back, got Mr. Reverse as they start the mailing. So it's an expectation that I thought, but that we would know who's
okay.
Last, but that they would the one.
And before I go any further talking about, the vote at the national level, let's talk about Colorado, because that was quite interesting to see what transpired in Colorado. And historically, we know that Colorado has been a red state. And after a while, it turned purple, but Colorado is turning blue now.
Yeah.
So what is your reaction as the result come out for the, we see that Congressman Crow did very well in his district, but, not surprisingly, but we see that former Governor Hickenlooper won the race against Cory Gardner. So what is your reaction overall as Colorado, just a heartbeat, turned blue right away?
Yep, and I think, Congressman Jason Crow winning a second, because let's forget, he was the first Democrat to win his district when he did that 2 years ago. And so the fact that he's now has won a second term, that just the district itself is turning more blue. So it's going from a light blue to strong. When it comes to the Senate race, I think I expected Kemlu for the win, but I did not expect. So the difference was, or the margin was bigger than I be. But also, Diana Deggett also won a second term. So we see that, that Colorado is moving strongly blue, not only to the people that we federal level, but also even in the Colorado Senate and the Colorado State House. We'll talk about this later, but also history was made in where it is in a house.
Yes, and we'll get a chance to talk about that, but it looks like also our own Nakida Rick won her race, and history was made over there, and we are very proud to have a representation from our own community at the state level, and we look forward to have her here one of these days to engage into a dialogue and conversation. Now, with Colorado turning blue, what does it mean to the African immigrant?
It means a couple of things. Now, not only because of health, let's talk about, we can talk about the airport. We know most of our communities work in the healthcare. When you go to the airport, most of the people you see there are African. When you talk about transportation, we talk about Uber and all these things. So now, as Colorado is turning Democrat, we should, as a community, see what are those where are those areas where our community is most operated in, and see what are the amendments for the bill we can help introduce that is their lives. We talk about what can we do now that we know that state is moving Democrat. How can we work with people that are elected so that we are introducing the amendments and make sure that the laws.
And it looks like the vast majority of African immigrants voted blue. It looks like we all, the large majority, we voted for the Democratic Party. Now, what could be the next step for us when it comes to holding this elected official from the Democratic Party accountable?
The step from holding them accountable is you have to now make sure that you are keeping them, not just at the next election, but all the way to the election. They start with the follow-up. We have to make sure that we are calling. We have to make sure we know exactly what amendments are being introduced. We have to make sure that every vote that whether we elect, whether it is the Colorado House, whether it is the Colorado Senate, or even to the U.S. Congress Senate, we have to make sure that we know how they vote each of the bills, but we have to do better, meaning that we have to get out and introduce our own laws. We have the capability and the capacity. We have people in the community who have doctors, who are engineers, and so those people, with their intellect, can sit down and write or go to a House representative or Colorado and propose them laws that is going better out. So now that what we have, but we also need for the democracy. The act of voting is just the first act. There is a lot more that we have to do in the work. It's a lot harder than.
And this is a testimony that as African immigrants, we should be involved, and we have to be involved in politics. And being involved in politics doesn't mean being a politician, but it primarily means knowing what's happening, identifying the program that the people that are asking for our vote, what program are they planning to run, and how it benefits us. And you cannot be young or too young to be involved. And Amadou Dieng is a testimony that our future, we strongly feel like it's in good hands if we have young generation get involved in politics and that can talk about it this way, which is great. And if you've been around the African Leadership Group, you know that we are a non-partisan organization. We are not Democrat, we are not Republican. We only stand for the best interest of the community. Now, what I want to say is, if you are a Republican that you lost the election or you did not get a chance to do well, we invite you to come and engage with our community, to understand our reality, to be part of our family. Because if we don't know you, I can tell you most likely we won't trust you. But if you happen to be also a Democrat that got our vote for some reason and get elected, we hope that you will engage with us in the future and you won't be disappearing until the next election. And I can tell you that that's something that does not settle well with our community. So we have a history of seeing elected officials only when they're asking our vote. And once they get it, they become ghosts. Literally, they become ghosts, nowhere to be found. So it's just a message that we wanted to send out there. So for us to let you know how we feel, we want to engage with both parties, we want to engage with all elected officials, but we can only engage with people that we see and people that we hear from. Now, Amadou, I know that there's still a lot of votes that need to be counted. And I've heard that most Democrats, they voted by mail, and most Republicans, they walk in and vote during the day. And that's why early last night we saw that Trump was doing very well, and now we are seeing that Biden is catching up. So, and there are some key states that still counting. Do you still feel like it's too close to be counted, or do you feel like you feel comfortable that Biden will win or Trump will win, and why?
So both of them can win. Like, let's just be clear about that. There is Trump can still win, Biden, but at this point, it's easier for Biden. Biden's path to 70 is a lot more clear than it is Trump. Trump could still win Pennsylvania and still lose, able to get 70. So as of right now, from what we're seeing, Wisconsin is turning strongly blue. But Michigan is also turning, because Detroit has hundreds of thousands of votes. We know from history Detroit is a strongly blue city. So we can expect the last coming ballot to be a strongly Democrat. But we have to be extremely careful, because we live in a society where now tensions are going up. So just because of that, we have to be careful of not saying who can win, but if people who are really following it could tell you right away. But we've already seen President with a speech, Biden came out yesterday. So just to not get into that, add to what's already going on, you would just like this play out. But I think by tonight, if it's like Wisconsin and Michigan, then we'll know.
Now, as you hear Amadou mention, the president came out and said something, and he said something on the tweet where he's mentioning that the Democrats are trying to kill the election, and he's going to take it to the judicial system. What is your take on a message like that from the president early on the counting vote?
I take that message more coming from a candidate and because he did not, where he yesterday, he didn't speak for the state. So then it carries a different weight. What we also need to know is that he has a right to go to the court. But as of right now, what the vote will be counted, every state will vote. And I think in Pennsylvania, the judge has allowed, the Supreme Court has allowed vote all the way up to Friday. And then once we get Friday, then if they don't like the result, then they can go and challenge the court. But from the way it's going on right now, I think whoever wins, there will be a clear enough path for them, for us not to be in that. If Biden wins, they'll win with enough college where be worried about judicial hearing which can last.
So now, and with a message like that, and also I know yesterday there was a lot of people that was concerned. I've seen it around the country where some store decided to really put piece of wood over the glass, and everybody is concerned about some type of riot or something like that that's happening. So what message do you have for the community regarding to things like that? Should they still be concerned and stay at home? Or should they say at this point, you know what, we should be comfortable and go about our business on a regular, like as usual?
I I think the people of this country are mature enough, because a lot of people were expecting things to happen. It was a peace day. We can expect the same thing to happen throughout this week, but as also parents and people who have people who love them, then we should also be as let's limit our outings to only as necessary or as needed. If we do not need to go out, stay in. There's more than enough reasons. We have COVID cases, shouldn't be going out. So if we do not have to be out there, let's just stay in. But let's also give people the benefit. The people of this country are mature enough. At the end of the day, whoever wins, we will.
Well said, Amadou. And for me, this is, we just wanted to come and actually, we were hoping that by now we will know clearly who the winner is going to be and really come and discuss about next step for the community. And as you can see, at this point, it's too close to be called and we don't know who the winner is going to be. But just wanted to have a specific message for the community. For those that were in a position to vote and did make it a point to vote, congratulations and thank you. And it doesn't matter who you vote, but I think it's very, very important as a community so we get involved in the process. As you hear me say all the time, we strongly believe that if you are not at the table, you are on the menu. The best way to be at the table is showing up and casting your vote. That's the first thing. The second thing, I think Nakida has shown the way that we African immigrants, we can be politically involved. Okay, so you got to understand that what she was able to do, she was not able to do it overnight. There's been a process. Nakida has joined leadership Aura. So there's a lot of leadership program that she was involved in to prepare herself for this opportunity. So the message that I out there, I know we have a lot of members in the community that are qualified to run for office. Maybe they feel like, oh, I won't have the support, but you can count on the African Leadership Group to provide you all the tools you will need. On that note, I want to let you know, we have a public speaking class we offer that will help you build your content character and your confidence. Because part of being a politician is being able to communicate and to communicate with confidence. So I highly, highly encourage all of you to visit our website, www.usalg.org, to get some information. We have a current public speaking class that's ongoing. It's every Tuesday from 6 to 8. And right now, because of the pandemic, we are doing it online. There's still time for people to join, so go check it out online. But another thing that is extremely important, the African Leadership Group have a Leadership Africa program, specially designed to build the future leaders we need in the community. Because quite often, we sit on the sideline and we complain about the things we should have and we don't have. As action-oriented we are as an organization, that's how we came up with Leadership Africa. Please check it out also, because it's going to be starting in January. We are still taking application until the end of November. We highly encourage you to look it out because we need people to run for office, to be board of directors, whatever, because we have some upcoming elections that are very, very important. We have the school board of directors that's coming up, Amadou.
Really
and we need members of the community to represent us to make sure that the education system is designed in a way that our kids can see themselves in it and can be successful within this platform. So those are the things, just small steps that we could do. But also, we would love to have all of you come to the show and really the community to have the opportunity to hear from you. Whatever opinion you have, whatever side that you are on, it doesn't matter to us. We just want to create this platform for people to come and communicate with the community. Amadou, what do you have to add with those things that I mentioned that the African Leadership is doing to prepare members of the community for leadership role?
I mean, you said it all, and that's something we always say here. If you're not at the table, menu. Once you get at the table, you have. Because if you go to the table just punch, then you are not bringing, and you are not. All you end up being is just a reflection of what was the table. So really, you're not bringing any change to the table. So we have to make sure that you are not only at the table, but we can help get you prepared so that once you get to that table, you have added value, and that once you get at the table, you have things you need to make sure that we are making our community a better community. as a result make so better state. So we have the public speaking class, which I am taking. I can tell you it's a great public speaking class. We have the best teacher, Professor Madiama, who's teaching that. Leadership Africa is coming up. But aside from that, we also offer a lot of other programs that we are doing. Like you were just saying earlier, we are an action-oriented organization. And so whatever is out there, whatever problem there is, not only do we highlight the problem, but most importantly, we try to bring solutions to the problem. And we try that on, and then people come and join us. Yep. So if there's anything out there that you really would like to address, just come on out and tell it us and tell it to us. And Papa just congratulated the people who voted. But there are also a lot of people who did not vote.
That's true.
And to those who did not vote, every single one of us cares about something. We all have something that we care about. And so once you find that something that you care about, you have to stand up. You have to stand up and figure that out. So stand up and defend what you care about, then go up to the polls and vote for it. And you have to speak up to make sure that people know about it, that people vote for that. Because we all care about something. We just have to thing is, and once we find it, then we.
That's excellent. And one thing I can tell you that we are looking forward to have is to have a panel of conversation with our young generation. Yes. So we're looking forward. If you have kids that is interested in politics, 5 years old to 15, 16 years old, would love to come and engage into a conversation. You can imagine how fun it will be. But Amadou and I, we are working on having the same panel with our younger. I'm telling you, as early as 5, 6 years old, we want them. Because I can tell you, my daughter yesterday was following the result with me and really has her own opinion about the election and the result as they were coming in. And she's 6 years old. So we want to have the same thing because we want to start them early. Because their opinion matters too. We got to learn how to listen to our children. And we look forward to having that panel here where we have the kids to express their voice. So this is what I want to leave you with. And we know this famous African proverb. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, let's go together. So as a community, we can go far if we stick together. But value each other's opinion. The African Leadership Group, we don't expect all of us to agree on things. Professor Madiama tells us all the time, if I give you $1 and I take $1 from you, which both of us still have $1. Yes. But if I give you an idea and you give me yours, I get to keep mine and I get to keep yours. So you can see the value of working together. Amadou, what is your last word to our followers?
I'll just give a Senegalese proverb.
All right, let's do it.
It says, in the end, we all control what we love, we all love what we understand, and we all understand what we are. Yep. So everything is that. If you have the young leaders out there, bring them up here. We will help from them. If you want to be a journalist or want to write for our newsletter, you have to keep practicing that. So you have to learn how to write. So this is what ALG is all about. We have to learn and make sure that we get at that table, we have added value, we get there.
Excellent. Bye-bye. Thank you, Amadou. And just want to let you know an upcoming event we have this afternoon, actually, at 5 p.m. Our home ownership committee is putting together an event to help members of the community that are looking to buy a home, to refinance their home, because we believe the first step of integration is owning a home. It doesn't matter if your credit is at point or if it's not. We have credit repair, individual, we have lenders, we have real estate brokers. So it's going to be via Zoom at 5 p.m. If you are looking to buy a home, or if you have a home and your payment is very high and you're looking for a way to refinance to lower your payment, join us this afternoon at 5 p.m. If you want more information, again, you can get it on our website or reach out to us. But it's going to be via Zoom. We look forward to see you guys the next time. Make it a great day, and most importantly, be safe. Thank you all and have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Amadou. Thank you. And your phone.